Okay, in this video we're going to make the options window pop up right next to the paint window. And so these two objects need to communicate with each other somehow. So our paint window needs to be able to tell the options window where it is in space. And so we're going to add a method to the paint window class called, it's going to be a static method, which means that because we don't ever create a new object of this type, and so static just refers to, it's a method that is owned by the class itself, not any particular object created from the class. And so it's just like a question or a command that you can give to the factory. And if that doesn't make sense quite yet, just you'll get used to static as we go. But just remember that static means it refers to the class. It's owned by the class. And so J-frames, or in this case we call it the window, which is a new J-frame, can tell you their location. And so you do that with a method called getLocation. And this isn't a mystery. These things exist in the Java doc for J-frame, and you can just find out about them, and you'll learn about them as you need them, basically. So we're going to say public static point. This returns a point object called get, and we're going to call this get window location. That's just our name for the method. And we're going to say it is going to return to whoever asks the get window location question or uses that method, a return the window that get location. And it's going to return, you can see there are different ones, but we want the one that says point, and so we'll select this and semicolon. And we have to import the point object. All the point is an X and Y coordinate in the computer's system space, like way top left is 0, 0, etc. Or actually I think that is 0, 0 just underneath Mac or window bar. It's different depending on the system. And so under our options panel, or options window, I'm actually going to create one constant here. So these are called magic numbers. Why is it 220? What does 220 represent? So programmers do not like magic numbers. They're annoying for good reason. We try and get rid of them, and that'll become something that you understand kind of intuitively as we go. But they're often numbers that repeat themselves throughout a program, and so if you just leave them as numbers rather than do what we're going to do next, it's annoying to change them if they recur throughout the program. So we're going to create a constant like we did in the game window class, or paint window class, public static final int width, and we're going to set this to 220. So now anytime this class refers to its width, it will refer to whatever we set that number to. So in this case 220. We can change the width later up here, and should this variable recur throughout the program, it will change it everywhere. Final just means it can never be changed once the program starts running. Okay, so in this, then we need to, in the create window method, we want the window to be created at the exact location off to the left-hand side of the paint window. So we're going to get that location and then set this window's location. So we have to create a point object, because remember, this method in the main window, in our paint window, returns a point object to us. So we need to create a point object to gather that information, and we're just going to call that location point. So it's very clear what we're saying. Location point equals paint window, the class dot get window location, and that will return to us the point at which the paint window pops up. And then we're going to change that location just slightly, right, based on the width of this thing, because we want to get that location and then set ours to the left of it. So location point, points have a method called setLocation, and we're going to set it using an X and Y coordinate. And these are things that seem like kind of magical at first, but oftentimes you just have to learn how to use particular objects, and particular objects have methods that you would expect them to have almost all the time. So a point can set its location, it can get its location, and it can do other useful things relative to what you would want to do with a point. The programmers who created Java know that you want to be able to do specific things with an object called a point, and so they tried to make those things. They try to predict what you would like to do with those objects and build them in. So we're going to set this location to the location where it's currently set, location point dot get x, so it can tell you where it is. And what do you think we're going to do to the x coordinate? We're going to do minus width, so that it is always set to the width, the width amount to the left of the current of the paint window. And we're just going to set location dot get y. We don't have to change that at all. Dot get y. Oops, location point. I forgot. Location point dot get y. And so this will set this point 220 pixels to the left of wherever the paint window is. And so then we just need to set the location of this options window to that location. So we just say the window dot set location location point. So this sets the location of the options window to the location that we just kind of figured out based on the paint window. So if we run our program now, we will see that in fact, oh, we have an exception at main thread. Okay, just 1 second here. What is this? Null pointer exception. Did I never initialize? What did I not initialize? At paint window, return the window.get location. Let's see. Oh, this is being created too early, so we have to change this. I believe just put that initialization down underneath there, and it might run at this point. And there we go. And the reason, so you see the options window pop up to the left, and the reason is the window that we were asking, the paint window that we were asking its location, had not had the location set before we were asking the question. So I had to move the creation of the panel, which creates the option window, below where we set the window's location. If I set this above, we're going to get that error message again. So you can see I'll put it right there and try and run our program one more time. And we should get that error message again. Oh no, it still works, but it didn't do what we wanted it to because it's in the wrong location. So you need to be very careful with swing components to set them and to put them in the correct place within your program. Otherwise, your program might not work as expected. So again, if we run this now, the options window should pop up just to the left of the paint window, and that's enough for this tutorial.